Happy New Year, everyone. May 2021 be a better year, right? We've put 2020 behind us. First Our House Mondays for 2021. All I can say is good afternoon, great year. Let's get this pandemic over and done with. Now, a couple of topics to be discussed. And Rideshare Drivers United, I'm sure you guys have heard of them. They said, listen, Torsten, please clarify for the gig workers this whole PUI, UI unemployment issue, right? Because many of the states are actually demanding money back, and that is extremely stressful for a gig worker. Muay Thai Ref is in the house, Nifty 50 is in the house, Arch Time Gamers in the house. Happy 2021. Way better than 2020. I'm sure you will agree, right? My highlight of 2020, I can't say it was the worst year. I got married, of course. That's my highlight. A couple of fantastic holidays in between and a lot of quality time with the family, right? Mainly indoors. Abstract Echoes in the house, World Databases in the house, Junk Saints in the house, and he says he's feeling better already in 2021. That's what I want to hear, Junk Saint. If you're already feeling a difference in 2021, that's promising. That is really, really promising. Make your New Year's Eve resolutions, turn them to fruition, make it happen, right? Set up a game plan for 2021, come up with a couple of alternatives, like the Wicked One. He's one of our subscribers. He's on 8 platforms. Listen, if he gets kicked off 1 or 2, he doesn't worry. He's still on another 6. So, and explore. I would use 2021 to explore, because as you will see in one of the articles that we'll cover today, the money during the pandemic with Lyft and Uber is scarce. You know, a couple of people had a shot at it at New Year's Eve, didn't do bad. You know, I've had people, 1 or 2 guys that reported, oh my God, we made like $100, $150. I think it was Arkansas. So. But for the majority of it, people were earning $350 to $1,000, putting in the full shift. I mean, like hardcore hours, 10, 12, 15, 16 hours, alternating between Uber and Lyft. Then you go to bed, right? Because that's hardcore. You're doing 12 to 16 hours on 2 platforms. You need rest. You need to sleep a day. So cool. Driver Steve shares with us that at 680 on New Year's Eve. I want to congratulate you. That's money. That's money in the bank. And hopefully at all times you were wearing your mask, right? And staying safe. I wouldn't, until these vaccines have been distributed, my friends, I wouldn't let my guard down, right? Keep your guard up, which means, you know, your disinfectants, your mask. I'm sure people that did New Year's Eve were very, very cautious, because we're in the peak, right? The numbers are insane. The numbers are absolutely insane at the moment, right? Driver Steve says, of course I was wearing a mask, and I wouldn't have expected any different, right? Intelligent people do intelligent things, and they get through this pandemic intelligently. Right, we want to get out to the other side. Steve and Raver, I'm exploring Lyft, Grubhub, Postmates. I like that. Options. That's fantastic, Stephen. World Database, always good to see you as well, brother. Good. Mario Cedillo's in the house. Good morning. Happy 2021 to you guys. Nifty 50 says the extra $300 a week is going to help me tremendously. And that is for 11 weeks. You're obviously going to have to verify that. Which brings me to an interesting topic, because, and again, I'm going to leave these links underneath the video for you. I'm just going to read out something so we get a better understanding. Uber, Lyft, and EDD filing for unemployment insurance UI benefits as a rideshare driver in California. And this really applies to a lot of states as well. Income verification for app-based drivers on PUA. Will I owe money? You know, they're sending out letters, or you got to verify your monies, threatening that maybe you owe them money after they've paid you all this money, and that's stress. But there is good news. There is very, very good news. And you guys should take the time to read this link when I drop it in afterwards, because here's the thing. If they come after you, right, no matter what state, if they come after you and say, hey, you know what, we overpaid you, PUA, there is a way, right? I'm going to give you the short answer and the long answer. Will you owe money? No. Why? Because converting your PUA benefits to UI will probably fix your issue. Just let me say that again, right? They come after you and say, hey, we paid you too much PUA. You freak out. Oh my God, how many thousands do I owe them? Slow down, Tiger. Short answer is no, you won't, because converting your PUA benefits to UI will probably fix your issue, right? Because remember, before 2020, at least before January the 1st, 2021, you were considered employed, right? So your argument to the EDD is, hang on, you paid me PUA, but you should have actually paid me unemployment, right? So you got to go through this. I don't want to bore you guys with all the details. It's a fairly long article, but it's really worthwhile understanding in case they come knocking on your door. In case they say, hey, buddy, Mario, you owe us money. Steve, you owe us money. Whoa, stop, right? I now start the process of converting PUA into UI, and they break it down for you. So the long answer is, recently many drivers on PUA have received correspondence from EDD asking for income verification for the purpose of ensuring the correct benefit amount. All PUA recipients who are getting more than the minimum $167 are receiving the same instructions to verify their earnings. Because PUA benefit amounts is calculated based on net income, some drivers are reporting a negative balance after turning in their income documents, as the benefit amount was calculated based on gross income. Drivers have reported much concern that they will have to pay back EDD for this overpayment. But here's the deal. As app-based drivers, we were employees under the law during the time we earned the income that our benefits were calculated on. So we can actually, so we are actually supposed to be receiving regular UI, which is based on gross income and should not result in the mistake of overpayment. Because Lyft and Uber never followed the law and did not report our wages to EDD, we are considered misclassified employees and are supposed to receive UI. We were given PUA in error. Interesting one, right? We were given PUA in error. And I'm going to leave the whole article there for you because it's truly worthwhile reading. What they also discussed, am I eligible for unemployment now that Proposition 22 passed? I'm on PUA, but isn't UI better? Can I get on UI? So they address all of these in this article, and that link I'm going to leave for you. UI is better than PUA for rideshare drivers and other misclassified workers in California. Here is why, and they explain it. I will make, listen, let me just say this. I will make a separate video for you guys where I just read the whole thing. And those who want to read it can read it. Those who want to skip this and are happy or not getting UI or not getting PUI can ignore this, right? So I don't have to take up your time. And how to file for unemployment, etc., and frequently asked questions. So we will go through everything. But back into the room, back reading out the messages. Nifty 50 says we'll get back on the road in April when everything runs out. Okay, that's a strategy. Nifty 50's life, I'm saving tons of miles plus money staying at home. That is true. You're not burning up crazy miles on your car, right? You're saving on gas costs, only face that monthly insurance. You're staying at home, you're staying safe. It's definitely a strategy. Rideshare Otter, Happy New Year to you too. Hoping the best for you and my rideshare brothers and sisters in this new year. That's an awesome message to the room. We appreciate that. Driver Steve says, you guys go ahead and sign up for unemployment while I make $5,000 a month because there is a lack of drivers on the road. That's true. I mean, that is true, right? So we're not judging. we're not pointing fingers and saying, oh, well, you shouldn't be driving because of the pandemic. You're taking a huge risk, right? I would just say respect each other's approach to this, right? We don't have to fight. This is like you respect each other's approach. There's the one group would say, okay, I'd rather play it safe, collect the PUA, maybe go back in April 2021. Hopefully, cases have come down. Hopefully, vaccinations are being distributed. Right now, it's atrocious, right? They promised 20 million vaccines by the end of 2020. They did 2.6 million. They're 17.4 million vaccinations behind, right? Now it's even proposed that Moderna only do one of two vaccinations. Listen, we were told that this vaccine only works if you have the one, right? And then the other one, whatever, 60 days or 30, I don't know how long it is, 30 days afterwards, right? Now, why do you want to save time and cut corners by suddenly stating, and this is from the top, right? This is coming from the top. Oh, one vaccination will be fine. No, it's not. This thing was designed as a first vaccination, at a second date, a second vaccination. Follow the rules. Follow the guidelines on how this vaccine works. Pat M says, when will Georgia start sending out the extra 300? I think everyone right now is just waiting on that $300. Californians are waiting on it. Georgia, I heard, is waiting on it. And then, by the way, I do want to say something which may sound rather controversial because it is a little bit political, but Georgia is on the radar tomorrow, right? Tomorrow's the big day in Georgia, right? And depending on the outcome there, I'll tell you straight up right now, understanding quite a bit about politics, but if they get a double blue, meaning those two Democratic senators, they will immediately, because they control the House and control the Senate, they will immediately push and get $2,000 stimulus checks going, right? Because on the other hand, Mitch McConnell and Republican senators have shot down this $2,000 additional stimulus twice. Trump wanted it, Democrats wanted it, Mitch McConnell did not want it. So if you want to make sure the rest of the country gets $2,000, hear me carefully, Georgia. Anybody that knows a friend in Georgia, including the gentleman that's in the House right now that lives in Georgia, by voting blue tomorrow, a double blue, which I believe is Ossoff and Warnock, right, versus Loeffler and Perdue, right, by picking up two blue seats, two Democratic seats tomorrow in Georgia. And I'm just saying, you might be a Republican and you might think that my idea is crazy, but the only way you are going to get your $2,000 stimulus for everyone, not just for Georgia, for everyone, California, New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, Texas, Florida, for everyone, Philadelphia, Teddy T's in the house, for everyone, listen, is to make sure you reach out to someone in Georgia and say, hey, please vote blue on both those candidates. I will guarantee you that $2,000 stimulus check is going to happen. I'll put my money on it, that they will immediately, the House will immediately get another $2,000 stimulus bill written up. And now then at that point, they control the Senate. It'll be a tie. Kamala Harris, probably for the first time, will issue the deciding vote. That's just how politics works, right? So Teddy T says tomorrow holds high stakes for the future. I agree, Prof. I told a friend of mine today that if the Dems win, everybody who's eligible will get $2,000. That is a slam dunk, my friends, right? Now, Perdue and Loeffler, they don't want to really talk about this $2,000, right? They might say now, yes, to pick up votes, yeah, we'll back this $2,000. The bottom line is, even if they back it and they pick up those two Republican seats, Mitch McConnell and his Senate will have picked up those two Senate seats, and again, they will shut it down. Everything goes through Mitch McConnell. If you want to chop Mitch McConnell tomorrow, get rid of him in the Senate as not as a senator, but as a power play. If you want to take away his power, you make sure you pick up those 2 blue seats, right? And many Republicans in the room right now, that's just a strategy, right? That's just a strategy that I put forth. If everybody wants $2,000, right? If you want to clean up, if you want to do some spring cleaning, right? That, my friends, is the best strategy forward. Reach out to someone in Georgia. I've already reached out to 4 or 5 people in Georgia, saying, hey, please vote blue tomorrow. Indy says, in Houston, there are a lot of knuckleheads that love to socialize massless. We're a hotbed of COVID, as we are here in LA. Thank you for mentioning it. There may be 6 Lyft drivers out there with maybe 7 at each airport. Nobody wants to go out, which is, let's see. Second part there, I'm gonna. Alex Critics in the house. Happy New Year to you. Good to see you. Abdul Akbri is in the house. Jimmy's in the house. Teddy says hi to everyone. Justin Cordero, are you guys in America going to actually get the $2,000 stimulus? Wish my government was loose with money like that. Look, I've been following on a worldwide basis, and I tell you, the majority of first world countries, right? And you know, definitely all European countries, Australia, New Zealand, to some extent, South Africa, Canada, many South American companies have not hesitated. They've put stimulus checks in the people's pockets, right? Especially in Europe. I mean, if I look at my friends in Germany, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Belgium, Holland, France, Italy, what they've been getting money-wise, it puts us to shame. Really puts us to shame. So if you have been paying in, as you have, this is not free money. This is money that you have paid into the system. This is money that you are entitled to. So the approach should be, oh, I don't want any free gifts, right? That's wrong. You're not getting free gifts. You're getting something back for which you have worked hard for. That's the way I see it. So never be ashamed or never belittle people and say, oh, you know, you guys want free handouts. No, these are not free handouts. People have paid into the system. People have paid taxes into the system, right? Now we're in trouble. You know, help us out. And I put a really, really good suggestion forth on how we can approach this in Georgia tomorrow. Indy says, my friends in Toronto have no worries. Yeah, I mean, I have friends exactly in Canada, and they are well taken care of, money-wise. Why should we have Democrats and Republicans fight over our cash when they are milking the system? They make sure they get their salaries. They make sure they get the millions. They make sure their buddies in corporations get the millions and the billions. Why do we have to fight for the money? We've paid in. You and I, we've paid in, right? Kenneth H., well, I live in Georgia. Republicans blow chunks, but we have to plug our noise and vote for them anyway. One-party Democrat rule won't be good for America. In this case, I disagree with you because I would say, in my opinion, you know, and I'm going to say this carefully, that a lot of damage was done in 4 years. And the only way you undo damage, the only way you correct several of the wrongs is to control both houses. The only way you're going to get this $2,000 stimulus, or the only way you're going to really get any progress on vaccines, right? I mean, if Democrats and Republicans fighting for, listen to me on this one, Ken, if Democrats and Republicans for 6 months, they've been fighting back and forth, can't make up their effing minds, right? Battling each other. And out of $900 billion can only allocate $20 billion to vaccines and $9 billion to distribution of vaccines, 29 billion of 900 billion, then we have a problem. And I'm all for a blue House and a blue Senate and up the vaccinations, put more money into vaccinations, because the sooner you get this pandemic under control, the sooner the gig economy bounces back, the sooner the entire US economy bounces back, the sooner the world economy bounces back, right? There are countries like right now, like China. There are countries like China right now that have COVID completely under control, and they're printing money. All the people are back at work. They're back in the factories. They're back working. They're productive. Only reason we have not gotten our act together because we have no plan on a federal level, and every state is doing their own thing. California is doing their thing. Florida is opening up over here. I mean, it's a shit show. It's all over the place, right? And I say that looking through the window, having lived in multiple countries, having looked at systems, I've lived and studied in England and Germany for over 12 years, and looking at systems that work and don't work. When I look at the distribution of vaccinations, when I look at the way the pandemic is handled or has been handled in this last year, it is an absolute shame. It's an absolute shit show, right? If we could look at my Australian brothers and New Zealand brothers on how they did this, how they got a grip on this, and their economy is fired up. They're ready, right? People are in the manufacturing plants. People are back at their jobs. Here, we have a record amount of deaths, a record amount of infections. Look what's happening in Houston. Look what's happening in Los Angeles. Look what's happening in Florida. It's a shit show. There's no game plan. There's no game plan, right, for distribution of vaccines. There's no game plan to get this most important thing right now to the people. Now, people have been tested. There haven't been any side effects or crazy side effects or deaths because of this vaccine. Seems to work. Laura's father, 90 years old, he got his vaccination as a veteran. No problem whatsoever. So it seems fine. Now we need to get it to the people, right? Because people overseas are pretty much showing us how it can be done. Even China is showing the US how it can be done. And China's economy is roaring again, roaring. And here we are stuck in this quagmire for months fighting each other, right? Oh, I agree. China is definitely not America. And China, he says, China citizens don't have the rights like we do. I agree. They've no effing rights, right? I'm specifically talking about the pandemic, on how they tested, traced it, controlled it, right? They were the epicenter of the world. It originated there, and they got it under control. And the economy is back, and the people are back at work. That is the only comparison I'm drawing here. On every other level, they'll fail. Human rights, they fail. Kenneth H. says, West Coast and East Coast see life differently than Middle America. How would a carbon tax be good for rideshare drivers? Canada has a 60 cents per gallon carbon tax right now. Right, but they may have a super high carbon tax, but there's definitely more money paid into the system. It's like Europe. When I lived in Germany, I mean, a huge portion of my paycheck, right? Huge portion of my paycheck when I was working in the company Hochtief in Germany, right? I was a project manager there. And a huge part of my check, I mean, insanely high amount was taken out for taxes. But on the flip side, you walk into a hospital, you walk into a doctor, all paid for. No questions asked. You want to send your kids, you want to do this education, further education, everything paid for, right? Infrastructure, roads, highways, everything functioning. I mean, that money that you pay into the system really creates a functioning society. Here, you know, we have a long way to go. We have an infrastructure net that is so fallen apart. We have such archaic computer systems. Unemployment are still working with computers from the 90s, 80s, and 90s, right? We have foreign countries hacking into our systems. I mean, we really need to put the money into infrastructure and beef this up, right? I'm not sure here. Mike, Danielle, are you talking to me or are you talking to someone? Because if you use that type of language with me, be very careful. I'll slap you straight out of the room, right? If you're having an argument with one of the other people, right, by all means, but don't talk to me like that. I'm going to give you a flat out warning, right? I pay almost 50 cents a gallon with tax in Washington State. Oh, Mike, Danielle, I don't support people that pull information out of their asshole and start conspiracy theories. So I have to kick you out because these are the people that I don't associate with. He says it's a war started by China. Fauci donated money to the Wuhan lab. I don't know where you get your information from, but conspiracy spinners, adios, muchachos. Have a great day. Have a great day. So I have no time for that shit. Nerds of P, what's up? What's up, everyone? NOP in the house. Good to see you. Well, it's true. It's you know, the tax cut for the ultra rich, that's a fact, right? They got a fat tax cut. Big money. Big money. And the only two presidents to lower the deficit while they were president. Listen to this. The only two presidents to lower the deficit in the last 50 years. Who do you think they are? Who do you think they are? The only two presidents that lowered the deficit in the last 50 years. Who do you think they are? Not Jimmy Carter. I'll tell you, but I want the room to guess. Not Kennedy and Reagan. Bill Clinton is one. Clinton and Obama. There we go. It was Bill Clinton and Obama, the only two presidents in the last 50 years that were able to reduce the deficit, not create more of a deficit. Well done. Nifty 50 gets the prize there. And rider-driver as well. Clinton, Obama. That's it. Clinton had a massive surplus. Obama did not have as much of a surplus as Clinton. So now, so the second stimulus check, the $600, right? Hands up, who has received it? I haven't received it. Second stimulus check, IRS has 11 days to send out payments, they say, right? 11 days. When will yours arrive? Here's everything we know about the second stimulus check delivery timeline, including an extra step you have to take after January the 15th. I don't like these extra steps. Why do we now have to take extra steps if we want to get our money, right? First, the good news, the US Treasury and IRS have already teamed up to start sending out the second stimulus check, executing a much more efficient timetable than with the first round of payments. With the mechanisms in place, the government agencies can step on the gas pedal, which means millions of stimulus checks of up to $600 per person may have already been sent via direct deposit to your bank account and through physical checks and EIP cards in the mail. Track your second stimulus check here. Here's how to calculate how much stimulus money you could get. Now, the bad news. The reason for the rush is a self-imposed January 15 cutoff to send the second stimulus check, which leaves just 11 days from today and only 17 days total from December the 29th date. The first payment went out to process potentially over 100 million payments. So when will your second stimulus check arrive? And what happens if it doesn't meet the deadline? If it misses the cutoff, you could be waiting a while, right? So anyone here, get the $600. Kyle Smells, sounds good. He says, I got my $1,800 for my family. I'm trying to get it invested before the dollar becomes worthless from all this printing. So you got 3 times 600. It's probably you, your wife, and 1 child, right? Am I right in assuming that? You, your wife, and 1 kid? Rider driver, I haven't received Stimmy yet. Likewise, I'm with you on that one. Haven't received it. Kyle, what state are you in, if I may ask? Let's see, maybe they a little bit ahead of the game where Kyle is. Kyle's already got his $1,800. So we'll explain more about the IRS deadline, what you need to know about direct deposit, how to track a paper stimulus check or EIP card to your mailbox, and what happens if you don't receive your second stimulus check after January the 15th. Cool. I like that. So he got the 600 for himself, he got the 600 for his wife, and he got the $600 for his child, and he is in Florida on New Year's Day. Well, that's a nice present, right? Ka-ching, New Year's Day, January the 1st, $1,800 shows up in the account. Fantastic. I'm happy for you, and I'm happy for your family, Kyle. I really am. That's awesome. While you're here, this is what we know about the IRS formula to come up with your stimulus total and possible third stimulus check. The story was recently added. Why will second stimulus payments stop after January the 15th? I did not know this, right? The language of the 900 billion stimulus has set January 15th as the cutoff date to send stimulus payments. If you don't receive your full second, so they built this little clause into the $900 billion stimulus. Very nice, Republicans and Democrats. The language of the 900 billion stimulus has set a January 15th as the cutoff date to send stimulus payments. If you don't receive your full second stimulus check money by then, you will need to claim all or part of the missing amount when you file your federal tax returns in 2021. Holy moly, you're going to be waiting quite a while. Through the IRS recovery rebate credit. That sucks. You'll be able to claim any money the IRS still owes you from the first round of checks. People who receive their stimulus payment through direct deposits are less likely to be affected. But if there's any issue or holdup with any of the 3 payment methods, it means you'll have to wait until you file a claim and take the extra step to do so. Tying the delivery of a second stimulus check to the 2020 tax return will almost certainly delay the payment for many people, since a wide variance in circumstances will cause some to file taxes as early as January and others as late as April the 15th or even later if they need to request an extension. It also isn't clear how quickly the IRS would process payments made through the recovery rebate credit. Direct deposit payments will carry on throughout the week. The IRS released the very first direct deposit payments on December the 29th. Kyle got his on New Year's Eve. saying that payments will carry on this week. Direct deposits in your bank account may be marked as pending or provisional until January the 4th, the IRS said. While eligible individuals don't need to do anything to receive the second payment, providing the IRS already has your information on file, you also can't do much to influence getting a direct deposit over a mail check. For example, you can't register a new direct deposit account with the IRS or correct any banking information you have on file. For example, if you closed an account, that could potentially change in the upcoming week, but we don't know for sure. EIP cards and paper stimulus checks are in the mail. Some could miss the deadline. If the IRS doesn't have your current direct deposit information on file, it will send the payment as a check or EIP debit card in the mail. They began December the 30th. It isn't clear if the IRS has time to process all the tens of millions of payments before January the 15th. The IRS was able to process between 5 and 7 million a week with the first stimulus check, according to a government report from June. It may be that some payments won't make the 15th deadline. That sucks. Here's how you can track your status with the IRS. So again, I'm going to put this link because there's a lot of links in this great article how you can track it if your money hasn't arrived, and also track your second stimulus check to your mailbox for free to set your expectations and to help prevent you from accidentally throwing it away. What's an EIP card? The IRS said to speed delivery of the payments, it will make some payments using the economic impact payment prepaid debit card. How can I track my second stimulus check? The IRS said it's updating its online Get My Payment tracking tool for the second round of payments and anticipates those who qualify for a check will be able to see the status of both the first and second payments in a few days. After the portal is updated, the portal is available in English and Spanish. What's the longest I'd have to wait to get my new payment, right? So people who will receive their second stimulus check in the mail, either as a paper check or a prepaid debit card, should look for a payment anytime from now through to January the 15th. So there's still hope, right? According to the Treasury, 22% of the payments as of last summer were made by paper checks, another 3% by prepaid debit cards. After January the 15th, you will have to claim any money the IRS owes you with your tax filing in 2021. So, long story short, right, if you don't get the $600 stimulus check by January the 15th, you are going to have to claim the money in your 2021 IRS tax filing. Interesting. NOP says, looks like trolls are back. I slapped him straight back out, gave him 10 seconds of glory and straight out. And if he wants to unsubscribe, in my eyes, good riddance. I don't tolerate trolls, and I don't tolerate conspiracy theorists that just put shit out there and have nothing to back it up. No time for that, right? And that's another thing we need to get a good grip on in 2021. And I think collectively, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, they all need to clean up their act, right? How do they differentiate real news and fake news? Because way too many conspiracy theories, way too much fake news has made its way into social media, and that's unacceptable. There needs to be some massive, massive cleaning up, because the more fake news, the more conspiracy theories that get injected into social media, the more that divides us, right? This is a cancer in social media that has crept up in the last few years, in the last 3-4 years. It's a cancer on how social media has tried to divide us with allowing this type of false information. Maurice Samuels is in the house. Virtual tours, cool. You do virtual real estate tours. There's a lot of money in that, right? In drone real estate, drone footage and virtual tours make a lot of money. Fake news is bad news. Amen. It is. It is. It really, the amount of energy you have to use on a daily basis as you are going through. William Rodriguez in the house. Good morning. Sorry, I didn't even see. I've got 2 streams going here. William, I acknowledge you. Happy New Year. So the amount of fake news that has filtered through into social media, it's exhausting. You, the individual, have to decide what's wrong or right. And if you get suckered into something like QAnon or some of these bullshit conspiracy theorists like Alex Jones, and you start recycling that shit, you infect that virus. That conspiracy virus infects more and more people, and it divides more and more people. So a massive cleanup is needed this year in 2021. And Mark Zuckerberg has to do a better job, right? Larry Page, Google execs have to do a way better job. Twitter, what's the guy's name? The CEO has to do a better job, right? As far as information goes. They just really need to have more filtration systems to filter out BS or fake news. Because if they don't, it's going to keep on being extremely harmful to citizens and to the economy, period. Prof, somebody at my insurance company stole my check, forged it, and that forced me to change my account number. I'm still hoping to get the paper check. Well, I hope your paper check arrives. Sadly, there are those people that do forgery. They all have a very short shelf life. They get caught. They end up behind bars. Short-term gratification, stealing, theft, fraud ain't going to get you very far, especially check fraud, right? The walls come crumbling down. To all of those who think that's how you're going to make the fast buck, good luck. Doesn't end well. Doesn't end well at all. So hopefully you get your $600 stimulus check. And as I've already showed you or read out in this article, if it doesn't arrive by January the 15th, you then claim that in your 2021 tax return. But I'm going to put the link below. Hit that like button, everyone. Hit that like button. NOP says all those conspiracy theory stuff is the reason why Trump is trying to get things done his way, and it's harmful. It's very harmful, and it's sad. And that is why the GOP is so divided. The GOP is so divided, right? So divided because you've got a bunch of them that buy into this bullshit, into these conspiracy theorists. There's even 2 people, I think, that were elected into the House on the GOP side that are big QAnon supporters, right? And that has gathered a lot of steam, a lot of steam. You guys remember Pizzagate? Hillary Clinton apparently was having some child bullshit in a pizzeria. I mean, this is the shit that comes out. I mean, people, you can't even dream up this shit. But some people come up with it, and they think it's a fantastic idea to spew all this fake news and infect people. It's like a virus, right? It's like a virus. Now, the one thing I want to talk about in 2021 is this coronavirus, which we have to acknowledge. Coronavirus pandemic is affecting the bottom line for Uber and Lyft drivers, right? So, and I'm sure we can all agree on that the coronavirus pandemic is affecting the bottom line for Uber and Lyft drivers. What does it mean? Well, many are sitting it out. Many are sitting it out and saying, okay, we'll wait till April. We'll see how it's going by then. We'll look at the numbers. Has it come down? Has it plateaued? Is it spiking even further up? These new strains, these new powerful strains that are filtering through from country to country, more powerful strains are coming out of this COVID variants, right? Will I go back to work maybe in April, right? Or do I go out there right now very thin rider base, very thin driver base. And yeah, you do get matchup, you do get rides, but you're not making the same money. Hence, it's affecting your bottom line, right? Ron Reagan's in the house. Happy New Year to you and your family. Kenneth H. says 75 million Americans can't believe a guy who couldn't fill a parking lot won the election. Jerry Bird, the whole GOP grand old party thing is crazy. They can't really call themselves Republicans anymore. If Republicans could go back to what they stood for, fiscal responsibility, conservative ideas. I mean, I think under the Reagan era, Republicans were united and strong, and they stood for something. Today, I truly ask myself, I have no answer, but what does the Republican Party stand for? Right? It is so divided. And then what is so divided? Both parties, Democrats and Republicans, and then another massive rift within the Republican Party, right? I do not know today. I can't give you an honest answer if you ask me, what does the Republican Party stand for? I don't even know what they stand for. They're all over the map. They're all over the show, right? It's a lot of infighting, a lot of power playing. Some have gone the Trump way. Some have gone the other way. A lot of Twitter raging attacks, media attacks, counter attacks. I mean, that's one battle. And the other battle is you have Democrats on the one side and Republicans. I've never, ever, after all the years looking at politics, studying politics, enjoying politics, have seen such a crap show as I have in the last 3 to 4 years. So more important things, the bottom line, your bottom line. All I can say is options, options, options. Try out other things, right? I had a lot of people report to me that over Christmas, at least for November and December, when packages were sent out like crazy through UPS, FedEx, and Amazon, people signed up, became Amazon Flex drivers, made really, really, really good money. One guy here that I delivers almost every day at my house, Amazon packages, he comes several times, and he consistently is making $350 to $400 a week. $350 to $400 a day, right? He puts 8 to 10 hours in per day, right? Now that might fizzle down in January. I think it'll be a big drop in January after Christmas, etc. You're just not going to see those same amount, the same amount of deliveries. But people got smart, right? They said, okay, well, I'm only dealing with packages and deliveries. I'm not going to be dealing with a person at the door. I just drop it down at the door, run back to my truck. Fairly safe, just like the postman, right? He's got the mail, drops it off in the box, carries on. Next drop. Amazon Flex workers as well. They really made good money. So that's what I'm talking about in 2021, is come up. Jerry Bird says, exactly, brother. Cool. Indy says, I'm wondering what Trump will say tonight in Georgia after that phone call came out. He only cares about himself. That's why we're in the shape we're in. It's the me, the ego, narcissist syndrome. And he's sabotaging himself. It's a classic narcissistic trait, is sabotage. Everything starts falling apart around you. You become extremely desperate. You start sabotaging everything. You try to get back at the people, leave them with a mess. I mean, these last 20 days, or not even 20 anymore, but these last 16 days are going to be chaotic. For example, in the Middle East, we had sent the USS Nimitz, the big carriers, the ones that shot off those missiles during all the other wars. The defense minister requested that the US Nimitz returned, and Trump's overruled that and said, no, send it back. He wants it there in the Middle East. So as much chaos as he can create in the next 2 weeks, ladies and gentlemen, that's the way I see it. God forbid something bad happens, right? We don't need to be drawn out into another war in the next 16 days. But chaos is on the agenda, I hope, and pray. All I'm really asking for from this new administration, I'm not asking for much. I'm just saying, come up with better ways to get the vaccines to the people, right? Come up with faster, more effective ways of distributing vaccines to people ASAP. Use football stadiums, use concert halls, have a system in place on a national level that gets the vaccines out, because certain countries have shown that they can do it. China got it under control. Strict regulations, right? Quick, effective regulations. Australia got it under control. New Zealand got it under control. Those that went lax and carefree invited in the second wave or the third wave, right? All I'm asking from this next administration, come up with a better system, because it's been chaotic in December, the distribution of vaccines. 2.6 million vaccines distributed of 20 million that they promised. And right in the beginning of the year, and they said, if we do have a vaccine, we will be able to get close on to 200 million vaccines by the end of the year. You have 2.6 million vaccinations. At that rate, you can wait another 10 years, and you're going to lose hundreds and thousands of American citizens and global citizens. Mark my words, this is all about vaccine distribution. That is what I request the number one focus be of the next administration. Get it to the elderly, get it to the nurses, get it to the doctors, get it to the people in the homes, and then one by one, get this thing under damn control. Kenneth H., low blow. Biden has dementia. No way will he do it. I'll tell you what, I'll put $100 that he'll do a far better job than this fool that is running the show right now. So wrong on that one, buddy. Celebrity certified. I cannot wait to watch your stream once Trump wins the challenges on the 6th. Dream on. Dream on, celebrity certified. Dream on, right? You didn't succeed at Supreme Court twice. You lost 59 out of 60 lawsuits. Fact. Even the people are standing up against Raffensperger, standing up against Trump and saying, you can't pull votes out of your asshole, right? Celebrity certified. I don't know, maybe you can, or maybe you have that celebrity power to pull votes out of your asshole. But I'm laughing at the statement when you say, I cannot wait to watch your stream once Trump wins the challenge on the 6th. What I'll do on the 6th, just for celebrity certified, is I'll actually make a stream that it is certified. All you're going to do is create 2 hours of additional barking. 2 hours of additional barking on the floor. That's all. You're not going to sway shit, right? Nothing whatsoever. So Nifty 50 says, yeah, I'm in a Trump bashing mood. Anybody willing to stand up for the boy? Speak up. Anybody willing to? I'm in a good Trump bashing mood. While I'm on a roll, let me do it. Supreme Court has been refiled. Yeah, refile it. So maybe one day, right? At that rate, Biden would have been the 68th president already. Maybe if you refile it enough time, maybe you find one stupid arsehole in the future that will actually. His people that he nominated to the Supreme Court, even with more conservatives on the Supreme Court, shot it down. Celebrity certified, I got to help you pull your head out of your ass. There we go. I just pulled it out. Hopefully, wipe the shit out of your eyes, and maybe you can see the light again. Marie says, Trump wants us to get sick, remember, heard. He's not even interested if you get sick or not. He's not interested in that. He's interested in Trump. So, and yes, correct, Mark. I'm in that mood while we're on a roll. That came to, so let's read this one here. Typically, this time of the year would be busy for rideshare drivers taking people to and from New Year's parties and outings, but things have changed because of the pandemic, and some are struggling to make ends meet. Carrie Sakas started driving for Uber last January in Youngstown area. I believe that's in Cleveland. She picked it up as a side hustle to supplement income from a full-time job. Every night, even in the winter, I was taking people out to bars, to restaurants, to parties. Those were the good times, right? Yeah, let's see, Mark. Let's see. Every night in the winter, I was taking people out to bars, to restaurants, to parties. That came to a screeching halt when the state shut down in March. Immediately when they did the shutdown, a lot of people were really scared. I know a lot of drivers took off time, and I took a little bit of time off, but not too long. But by then, things had already changed and have continued to change over the months. With a statewide alcohol curfew and a stay-at-home advisory in effect, we know about that. The bar scene isn't what it once was, and many are skipping rideshare services altogether because of COVID concerns. What I want to add to this is that because of that massive decline in rideshare, people were just not willing to get into a car where maybe 20 to 30 other people have sat in during the day, during the COVID. They were just not willing to take that chance to enter a vehicle where maybe a sick person had been before. So car sales went through the roof. Car sales went insane. And during the pandemic, you had interest rates like you've never, ever seen them before, right? And people are buying cars. So a lot of people are shifting away from rideshare. Those few drivers that are out there are picking up the scraps. There's a very, very thin ridership, very, very thin amount of passengers per city that are actually still actively using rideshare. The amount of tips has greatly decreased. Why do you think the amount of tips has greatly decreased, right? Very simple, because the money is just not there. People are saving during the pandemic. People are like, they're saving for a rainy day. They have no idea how long the pandemic is going to go. So tips are almost like non-existent. You might still get a ride, but you're definitely not going to get a tip. It becomes so hard for us drivers to justify the cost, because we also really want to count on those tips to make it worth our time. You know, back in the day, I would always say my tips pay for my gasoline, right? I would always make it a goal that I would bring enough tips in per day to pay for my gas. Right now, there's a big hole with tips. Dan, the driving man's in the house. He's sorry I got here late. St. Louis, Missouri in the house. Welcome, Dan. Good to see you, buddy. Jimmy says, I'm surprised that the multiplier was so successful for some folks. You know, let's see. I hope that the multiplier continues. I know a lot of people that have used it. You know, if you know how to use it. Jerry Bird says, please don't believe every supporter of Trump is a racist. Some just simply don't want by. I understand. I totally respect that. I totally respect that, what Jerry Bird says. He says, please don't believe every supporter of Trump is a racist. No, that's not true. They're not. You know, there's a fraction of racists in every country, right? They may have been drawn out a little bit or a little bit empowered by, but I am not labeling Trump supporters as racist. He may have drawn some of them out and given them some power, but I'm with Jerry Bird on that. Some just simply don't want Biden in office and don't give a damn about Trump. But very, very true. Very accurate statement there. Round the clock says, I told my friends and family if they're going to take an Uber or Lyft to either order a premium vehicle or call or text a driver to make sure that he has leather. That's a good one. I like that. Mark Roughton says Democrats can have the House. Republicans need to keep the Senate to keep things in check. Too much power isn't good for the people. But if you have a guy like Mitch McConnell running the Senate, nothing gets done. Nothing gets done. Doesn't matter if you trying to hold the one in check. Nothing gets done. Stimuluses don't get passed. Monies don't get to vaccines, right? People die. Mark, your boy there, Mitch McConnell, that you support, what is he doing? He's passing a $20 billion vaccination budget and $9 billion for distribution, because the money is more important for his cronies. So you have a retard running the show in the Senate, and that's the problem. And I'll single this one individual out and call him out for what he is. Mitch, obstructionist, only cares about himself, only cares about companies, only cares about billionaires. And as long as people like Mark have that mentality to protect that type of person, we're not going to get shit done, period. It's as easy as that. The amount of tips has greatly decreased, like hardly anyone is tipping. She says, I feel like a lot of our rideshare drivers have switched over to other platforms such as food delivery. Very true, but that's not the same for everyone. Single mom, Yisian started driving for Lyft after getting laid off last year. It's definitely a need here in Cleveland. I've seen an increase in rides. Okay, good. Again, market to market, it differs, right? Johnson said a rigorous cleaning routine makes sure her riders feel safe. I wash and vacuum out almost every day, Lysol down the car, and get the seat belts in between rides. Smart. Visionaire, I agree with you on that. I agree with you. I agree with you on that. Fresh new blood, please. Fresh new blood, right? Bring us some fresh, new, competent blood. I mean, both of them. Just bring us two people that are not cozying up to corporations. I mean, the amount that Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi take from corporations is mind-boggling. I mean, Mitch McConnell is worth $22.5 million. You don't get there on a $70,000 Senate salary. Sorry. Den Mag, sorry, buddy. Not a communist, not from Russia. You're in the wrong room, little troll. Have a good day. Thinks I'm a communist. Can't ran me, doesn't affect me. Just slap you straight out of the room, little troll. So if you do have the opportunity to maybe go to small gatherings or have the opportunity that you should take an Uber, definitely do it. Zaka said she has received supplies from Uber like masks and sanitizing wipes. I'm glad for her that she got it, and that she and other drivers really take their passenger safety seriously, and that they are taking the proper steps to keep their vehicles clean. Well, that I think is good. That she's following the protocol. Go Donny Combs in the house. Great YouTuber. Subscribe to him. If you haven't subscribed, he's in the room right now. He says you should do that to your car from now on. Your car always should be clean. Yeah, between every ride, never take a chance. I mean, you can get Lysol again, you can get wipes again. At once upon a time, you couldn't get your hands on masks, you couldn't get your hands on disinfectants. Remember that time? Probably around April, May. It was very hard to get it. Now there's enough supplies throughout, right? No excuses. Buy the stuff, spend the money on those disinfectants. Like she said, wipe down the seatbelts, wipe down the seats, wipe down the handles, keep the windows open. On a beautiful day like tomorrow here in California, 74 degrees, no reasons to have the windows up, have them down. Now, if you're on the freezing East Coast and it's snowing, of course, it's difficult to have those windows up, down, sorry. Kyle Smell says, Prof, I voted against Trump, but what is your opinion on potential inflation from these deficits? Oh, I think that, I honestly think that we have a rough 8 years ahead, Kyle. I think that with all of this globally, and I'm not just talking about the United States, by printing money, right, by printing money and putting it into citizens' hands, no matter if you're from Germany or the United States or Japan, right, by printing money, you are so artificially inflating the real picture. So the real adjustments, the real corrections, I think will come in 6 to 8 years' time. But I do think that inflation will rise, and that we're in for a rough economic recovery, right? But I do think it's also better than putting millions of people out on the street, right? Or having suicides go through the roof, right? So you got to do what you got to do. Right, you got to do what you got to do to get your society, to get your citizens to the next step, right? And then the economic, how you address, how the Treasury, how the Feds, how the banks address it, right? They're going to have to do a lot of correcting. We're in for a rough ride. I'm with you on that. I'm not saying that It's the ideal way to go, but it is the better way to go than putting millions and millions of people on the street, out of the apartment rentals, right? Not contributing to the economy. I'd rather try and keep people in their workplace superficially, or feed them the monies to get to the next step, right? And I think it's going to take us years and years and years of getting out this debt. Years. And the longer we take to get these vaccines to the people, the longer we take getting a grip on this pandemic, the more the dollar will devalue, the more our economy will suffer. The people that are rebounding right now, guys may not like this country, but China, up and rolling, right? New Zealand, Australia, up and rolling, making money. Japan, getting a grip on it. Some European countries better than others, getting a grip on it, getting the economy going. So, I get a lot of feedback also from BMW and Tesla. I mean, BMW is now back to 85% of what they were in 2019, right? And so German auto manufacturers are rocking and rolling again. Tesla's overseas plants rocking and rolling. Godoni says, Uber sending me supplies every week. I have not missed a week. That's a great plus. That's cool. So they know you're working, and they know that they need to take care of you. That's a good thing. Because there was a time where we were promised a lot of PPE and it didn't arrive. Remember those times? So I had to kick out one or two trolls out of the room. Had to be done. No other way. IQ boys in the house. I'm pretty sure some will make money, but far in between. Mohammed Khalil's in the house. Greetings. One way to control inflation is to keep prices lower, just like they were in April and May. Price used cars dropped drastically after stimulus skyrocketed. Okay, I didn't understand that last bit, but okay. Yeah, making vehicles attractive with attractive interest rates. People jumping in, buying, right? Big time. Godoni Com says, I think after it's all said and done, you're gonna have a woman in the White House as president. Mine is not going to make it because of his health. Oh, you mean Biden? Not President Mine, you mean President Biden. Yeah, they're all both pretty old farts, aren't they? I mean, they're like mid-70s, high 70s. Indy says, not to be a conspiracy theorist, but with all the automation, we don't need a lot of people, especially workers. We're in the days of Soylent Green. This is a population control. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's a fact. I mean, the fact is robots, automation, AI are taking away humans' jobs, right? So if you have children, make sure that they get educated in that direction. Maybe interest your children in AI, artificial intelligence, or robotics. Those are definitely futures. That's definitely a great future for kids. As far as us go, I'm 52. I'll just take care of my business, my day to day, try and grow it organically. But and obviously understanding what you're saying is true. That why would you start a business where the potential of individuals being replaced by machinery in the next few years, right? Why would you go down that route? Unless you're prepared to, say, hey, one day I'm going to start this business and I'm going to start replacing humans with computers and robotics. I'm fine with that. Here's the first investment. Let me go for it. But generally speaking, yeah. Walmart now, no cashiers. All automatic checkout, right? Home Depot, for the most of it, all automatic checkout. You and the machine. Hello, how was your day? Excellent. Thank you for your payment. Have a great day. That's where we're going, my friends. Yeah, Biden definitely not looking healthy. I've got to say that as well. Not looking healthy. Yeah, those IRS trying to get into your IRS portal. Good luck. Everybody's stressing out. Like people haven't seen their $600. They're like in spin out mode. Now, what got me? Yeah, Stephen Lopez. Thank you. Even CVS has self checkout now. Remember that CVS manager that gave that DoorDasher crap? She's fired. The DoorDasher, the lady's also fired. 2 people lost their jobs. Dan, robotic delivery will come. They're already doing a robotic delivery, I think, as of a week ago in San Francisco. Noon, I think, is the company. Noon. Let me just check. Let me just check that and verify that. Neuro. If you guys want to check it out, you can go and Google it. Neuro. Kenneth H. still wants to debate Trump with me. Let's drop it. He says, Trump isn't a choir boy. I agree with that. But at least he puts America first. May not be the best policy, you know. And the definition of America first, I don't think there's really much wrong with that, but all depends how you try to put them first, right? You fucked up a lot of allies that are now doing business with China. It's a fact. Lost a lot of your European partners. They're laughing at this guy. So Biden's going to have a lot of mending and makeup. Well, these guys have moved on. They're sick and tired of the guy. He's too erratic, too chaotic. Doesn't know what treaty is going to be broken, what treaty is going to be reenacted. Like they don't know where they stand with him because it's chaos management. And the European Union, like, we're not going to have anything of this. You got Belgium, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Germany, Italy, Spain, France. Screw that. Doing business with China now. China is the winner, sadly, the true winner with the Trump's America First policy. Mocking all the power players, mocking Angela Merkel from Germany, mocking Macron from France. Doesn't help you. They're like, here, buddy, we'll go and do business with other people, right? Huge pact signed between Europe and China. America wasn't part of it. So you see what it often does, that sort of arrogant way. And where I would say America first is bring the jobs back. Don't have these companies have all their call centers and set up in the Philippines, like Uber. Uber is not putting America first, right? Put the call center here in the United States, right? Maybe buy property in Texas and set up a call center there. Obviously, it's too expensive for them to run a call center in California. But to ship it out to Colombia, to Bogota, to ship it out to the Philippines, that's where I would say America first. Bring the jobs back, right? But by dissing all these treaties and cutting these treaties and getting out of the Paris Climate Accord and blah, 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 right? Other leaders will say, here, F off, buddy. We'll go do business with China. China is loving it. Loving it. Right? And these are power players. Japan, power players. Germany. You know, you're talking number 2, number 3 strongest economy in the world. And there will come a time very, very shortly, they've already predicted it, that China will overtake the United States as the number 1 economic powerhouse. So the America First principle from what I've learned in economics or studied in economics, is not always the very best way to go. All right, so Our House Mondays. Oh yeah, Kyle, great example you gave. He says, I appreciate giving your opinion on future inflation. My wife is from Venezuela and they have hyperinflation. And that's when the real homelessness and the worst problems start. 100%. I mean, I've seen that firsthand. I've seen people invest in Zimbabwe. And I mean, one of the worst inflation rates in the world, hyperinflation like Venezuela. Countries fall apart. Countries fall apart. But there's also no system in place in these third world countries. It's usually very, very corrupt leaders with Swiss bank accounts who pay army generals to keep them in power, right? And the laws and regulations are, I'm just going to say, in third world countries, I definitely cannot compare those to the US, Canada, Europe, where there are tight systems in place, right? So corruption runs high, and it usually starts on the top. And that is for every African country. That is for most of the South American countries, right? Is that politicians don't really care a shit about their people, right? It's what they can milk. If they can milk the system, they will milk the system, right? So there's not many checks and balances there in Venezuela, for example. Godoni says, I'm so $8,000 in the last 90 days. Vintage t-shirts, thanks to the professor for the idea. Do you have to take the ideas and run with them? Come on, man. Hey, I could not be prouder of Godoni that he said, listen, this sounds like a great idea. We talked about this idea months ago, 3-4 months ago in a conversation. And I've made good money with printing t-shirts, done a couple of collaboration with independent artists, etc. Done well. Didn't want to make it my main business. Maybe I should have focused on it more and more and more. And maybe you could be like a cafe press or a $6 t-shirts. Those were names that Donnie and I spoke about. Then we shared the links. He went and did the research. And then he focuses on vintage t-shirts. 90 days later, $8,000. Hallelujah. Amen. So you get like a AAA certification for not just talking about it, but actually going out and doing it. Got the rideshare thing, is a great DJ, makes a little bit of money here and there, goes, invests it into t-shirts, and turns that into an $8,000 business. I love it, man. That's the American dream. I love it. Love it. Machines are not putting product on shelf. They're still going to have people do the manual labor. Manual labor is not going to be replaced anytime soon. And your idea of making money, plan B. Right. Well, I mean, look at an Amazon warehouse, right? I mean, you honestly think that it's going to be fully controlled by robots only? I don't think so. And you're going to still have a degree of people in a warehouse to operate these machines, right? It's not 100% bulletproof yet. Slick Nick's in the house. He says, hey, T, went driving this morning and made almost $34 in Instacart and about $48 on Lyft, including $6 streak bonus. I got 125 bonus this weekend on Lyft. Cool. All adds up, my friend. So, and what I read from that is that you're on multiple platforms. That's great. Godoni says, if you got your IRS late, your payment came late last time, it will be coming late this time. Lots of people have not got their checks, but they will get the check. But here's the thing, this round, which I already mentioned, I got to mention this again because you weren't in the room, that who was that, Laura? No, it's just for me. Okay, it's the delivery. So if these checks or the debit cards or the direct deposit hasn't happened by January the 15th, stimulus payments will stop after January the 15th. That's the way it's written into the $900 billion bill. So if you don't get it by the 15th, you have to claim it in your 2021 IRS tax filings. That's it. So yes, a lot of people that received their checks late last time will probably not get this money by January the 15th, and then you're going to have to go out and claim it in your 2021 tax filing. That's a long time. So you're going to file that January, April next year. You're going to wait quite a while. I got 0.00000. Yeah, I haven't received mine either. Send him vintage t-shirts. I have a lot of t-shirts, go Donnie. Jeez, like I must have about 6-7 drawers just filled with t-shirts. I'm a t-shirt junkie. I think I just ordered 12 new t-shirts last week. 12. Nerds of P just checked my stimulus status and it says my check was being mailed on Wednesday. Hallelujah. All right, so we're 1 hour 21 in. There you have it. I will also, what am I going to do? I'm going to leave the link on this PUA UI in case they come after you and say you owe them money. You then have to, I've gone through this briefly, but then you're going to have to convert your PUA into a UI. It's explained how to do that. In case they do come after you and say, hey, we gave you all this PUA money, you owe it back. Hang on, stop. No, I don't. Steps you can follow here. Great, great information provided by Rideshare Drivers United. I'm going to leave that link. I'm also going to leave the link regarding the $600 stimulus check if it doesn't arrive, what to do. And that should be at least some good info for you guys out there. Stay safe, everyone. Good to see you. Go Donnie says, really, what are you going to do with $600? Right? You can't do much with 600. You go shopping twice, you fill up your car 3 times. Vamonos, $600 gone. Just an idea. You don't have to go this way. If you know anybody in Georgia tomorrow, tell them to vote blue, because if they pick up those 2 seats, those 2 blue seats, the $2,000 checks are on the way. It's the only way, the $2,000. If they control the House, control the Senate, those $2,000 will be on the way. Just saying, putting an idea out there. Wishing you all a fantastic day. Hit that like button. Louis Hutron in the house. Good to see you. Happy New Year. Wicked Hustle Guy, Happy New Year. If you haven't subscribed to Wicked Hustle Guy, do it now. If you haven't subscribed to GoDonnie.com, do it now. If you haven't subscribed to Dan, do it now. I'll always give you a shout out if you want to share a video, one of your first videos. Slick Nick, there he is. Go and subscribe to his channel. He's putting the videos out there and making a valiant effort. Let's help each other out. Let's give each other those subscriptions. One hand washes the other. Omar Lila, like you back. Appreciate you guys. Much love. And just share the energy, man. Share the energy. Let's get through this. We're in 2021 now. This is our challenge. This is where we got to step it up this year. This is where we got to wipe out the pandemic so that we can rock and roll. We got to work together. Like Stephen Lopez says, be safe, brothers and sisters. Kenneth H says, ridiculous. I don't know why he's saying ridiculous. I think what we've did is rather inspiring, not ridiculous. But Wicked Hustle Guy, just subscribe to GoDonnie.com. So, return the favor, subscribe to Wicked Hustle Guy. I tell you why. Because you need those 1,000 subscribers. You need those 4,000 hours. So by handing each other a subscription. You're helping each other, right? You're taking one, suddenly you need, if you have your first subscriber, now you only need 999. So that is the way we march forward, 5 million strong, right? Unity, helping out. Oh, Kenneth H says you'll spend more in taxes. More in taxes on what? More in taxes on what? Just I want to finish that sentence. Where will you spend more in taxes? Kenneth H, get yourself a good tax man. Get yourself a good tax guy. Get yourself a good CPA. Right? Pays to have a really, really, really good CPA. Maybe want to structure yourself as a corporation or as an LLC. Oh, Lord, here we go again. He says, more taxes if Dems have total control. Kenneth, spare me the shit, buddy. Spare me. You guys handed out so much free money to billionaires in that 4-year. Spare me. You handed out so much cash. You ran the deficit through the roof. And now he barks at taxes. Spare me. Spare me, spare me. It's like this type of vision. I don't want to see what my guys are doing, but I'm wide awake to look at what the other guys are doing. But I'm going to ignore what my guys are doing. Not going to get you anywhere, that approach in life. Anyway, have a great day. We're on 37. Can we bump it up another 3? Is it possible to get it up to 40? Helps me in the algorithms. Anybody that hasn't hit that like button would greatly appreciate it right now. Put in a 1 hour 30. There'll be some very good information shared, very valuable links that I'm going to put underneath this video the moment it goes live, so that you guys can go and check and read up about the $600 stimulus check. And then you can also check out how to possibly convert your PUA to a UI in case they come after you. I got the 40. I'm super grateful. Godspeed to Jerry, to you, to your family, both Democrats and Republicans. Love you all. Spread the love out there and help each other out. Just help each other out through these times. As I'm saying that, I see Governor Newsom holds a news conference as death toll tops 26,500 and confirmed cases approach 2.4. Again, Governor Newsom, pull up your socks, right? He's cozying up too much to his tech people. He cozied up too much to Uber, right? You got to do for the people, not for the corporations, Governor Newsom. Got to step it up. Calling him out right now, right? Hopefully he gets this message. Step it up for California citizens, not just for your tech buddies up there in North California. Go Donnie, Dan, Kyle, Jerry, Lewis, Kenneth, Maurice, Slick Nick, all of you. Have a fantastic week. Happy Monday. Make it a fantastic week. Enjoy, everyone. Oops, you know what? I'm back for 1 second. I almost hit that end stream. Almost hit that. Hold on 1 second, Danu. Just hold that thought. I have to give my sponsors here. Whoops, almost forgot. Almost forgot. I'm just going to, you guys can ignore this part. But for those who haven't seen this, Cover, K-O-V-E-R, I dropped my link beneath this video as well. You get 1 month through me. Gig protection plan against anything that can go wrong with these corporations. You see here, in case they deactivate you, you can get legal protection through legal rideshare. They will send out the letters, get you back in the seat, represent your wrongful terminations. They are lawyers in Chicago. They represent gig workers nationwide. Also, God forbid, I hope this never happens, but in case you get into an injury, car accident, you're losing money because you're in hospital, you're hospitalized. I hope this never, ever happens, but if it does, make sure you hit these guys up at Legal Rideshare, because they will handle the entire insurance claim for you. And this one over here, ladies and gentlemen, only $7 a month. A lot of people have also been putting on in a waiting line, in a queue. I don't know why COVID does that, why they take so long to verify a lot of the people. But make sure you check them out. My link is below. And again, every Monday for those newcomers, Every Monday, we have our house Mondays. It's your room, your shout outs, your suggestions, your ideas, your issues. You bring them forth. I read them out, right? I'll be very straightforward. Trolls, conspiracy theorists, people that cannot back up their wild statements, I kick out. I had to kick out 2 or 3 people today because they just inject a lot of craziness and a lot of hatred into the room, and we want nothing of that in 2021. Be well. Happy Monday.